So the black ownership numbers are the ownership numbers when we last published them, and we're about to publish the next lot, but last published them, about 39, let's call it 40 for the purposes of the exercise. 40% of the JSE is owned by foreigners. Is this a good or a bad thing? It's actually a really good thing. Why? It means foreigners say, I'd like to do business in this country. I'd like to trade shares on the JSE. Meaning, of course, that many of our companies, they can trade those shares in London, in New York, but they choose to trade them here. That's a good thing because they're using South African traders to trade who are paying income tax. They're using South African asset managers. They're supporting an ecosystem here. 40% foreign. Then we've got the bulk, or the rest of it. 23% owned by black people and 22% owned by white people, and the balance we haven't yet analyzed. And you'll say, well, come on, I mean, you've had so long to analyze it. Line by line, millions of lines of share registers to get to numbers one can verify. Of the 23% owned by black people, 13% are held through the mandated investments, okay? That's up from a couple of years before when we did it, which means more black people are in the workplace, okay? And there are larger numbers of black savings. 10% held directly by black people, BEE schemes, individuals, etc. So I think it's actually a success factor from this government's whole focus on transformation that we have had so many people already owning shares. That is a very different thing, though, from saying that's sufficient. We need to get more people owning shares in broad-based. We really need broad-based transformation. A world in which every single South African says, I have a vested interest in the economy, because I own shares in X company or Y company. That would be where we should go. That's what top economies do. They achieve it in completely different ways, but that's what they do. So we should now be saying the reality is that working South Africans save through their pension funds. But what about the non-working South Africans? How do we get them into the workplace? That's where you start to talk about inclusive growth, etc. And once they're in the workplace, how do we make it easy for them to own the means of production, which are the shares, etc. So we're on a journey. I'm by no means saying the transformation job complete, by no means. But it isn't about, and shouldn't be, about changing the ratios in a shrinking pie. It should be about changing the ratios in a growing pie.